RLE has played a very important role in my career at MIT from the get-go.
One of the things that RLE does superbly is really set up a fantastic framework.
It's people who are engineers and scientists and from complete spectrums: biology, physics, engineering.
It allows us to do what we do, and they're committed professionals who are there that let us do what we need to do, and that makes it a very special place for doing research.
RLE is a interdisciplinary research laboratory, 6 research themes, about 51 affiliated faculty, several hundred graduate students, some research staff, occupying space in a variety of buildings on the MIT campus. And we have about $30 million in sponsored research volume each year.
The Research Laboratory of Electronics has physicists, engineers, and a variety of different scientists associated with it. And the types of research projects that the principal investigators look at are so diverse, and I think more so than any other place in the Institute.
At MIT, and specifically at RLE, the ability to go knock on someone's door and ask a question. You could be a bright student, you could be one of the faculty members, you could be a Nobel Prize winner, is really tremendous in terms of access to their expertise.
You constantly bump into people and can ask them out for a coffee and then talk to them, get new ideas. And it's this vibrant exchange which drives us here. It's really fantastic and very important.
There is an incredible breadth of research diversity within RLE. We have people working on ultra-cold atoms, physicists, one of whom has shared the Nobel Prize in Physics. We have work in photonics, from materials, fabrication, to devices, to systems. We have work in signal processing, communication theory. Across the span of topics covered in RLE, I can point to polar extremes where 2 researchers there would never have any reason to talk to each other. But across our 6 major research themes, there are lots of interconnections, and collaborations get formed spontaneously in response to funding opportunities, in response to intellectual opportunities, and this happens all the time.
RLE sets up a very flexible space for us to work in. There's no restrictions at all really on what kind of problem you might want to work on from RLE. It provides space and it sets up a culture within MIT that's very collaborative.
It is a great environment if you have an entrepreneurial kind of a mindset, because you can go in any direction you like, you can do anything you want, you can work on any question that you care about, and you are only limited by your imagination here.
You have all these people around you and you can directly ask, almost always the best in the world or maybe close to best in the world, what is really the fundamental limitations in this and that. And so you very quickly find either a solution to your problem or a team with which you can actually attack a certain problem.
It's people who are engineers and scientists and from complete spectrums: biology, physics, engineering. So it's a very good fit for an interdisciplinary person like me, because I cannot be pigeonholed simply into being this or that. And RLE doesn't try to pigeonhole you into being this or that. They actually want you to be a broader person.
I am an electrical engineer, but at the same time I find myself without boundaries, being able to easily approach chemical engineers, chemists, material scientists, people who indeed you would think are not in my discipline. And that's because of this place. It's very, very, very easy to interact.
MIT and RLE, the Research Laboratory of Electronics, has the full spectrum, from people doing very fundamental things to people who are driven to solve real-world problems that may be, in fact, these days associated with medicine or biology. And there are collaborations that go on that enable these sorts of things, and it's very hard to point to any division between the two. Certainly at MIT, there's a smooth flowing collaboration across different schools, different departments, different interdepartmental, interdisciplinary research labs. In RLE, which spans both science and engineering and couples into MIT, Harvard, Health Sciences and Technology program, is all over that map.
The Research Lab of Electronics has a staff which consists of some of the most talented individuals at MIT who facilitate our research and make our lives much, much easier.
What really maintains the excellence and has allowed it to remain so very relevant over time is the quality of the people there. Quality of the administration, the quality of the investigators.
It is practical on many levels, and for one, you're not dealing just by email with somebody in central administration. You actually have a person in RLE headquarters. You go to them, you talk to them, discuss very practical issues, and you can discuss higher level strategy.
We're looking always to provide the opportunity to nurture young people here, to push back the boundaries of science, and at the same time to find engineering applications. So we have curiosity-driven work, and we have work that has very much an application focus, and all things in between.
I think the main thing about MIT and RLE has been that the quality of the students that we have is just fantastic. It's absolutely wonderful. And to be able to have that quality students and to bring it into a group that really works together. I mean, when you can see when the students are exchanging ideas with each other, and they can't wait to tell you about what they're doing. You know, it's really amazing to behold. So it's really, I think, the quality and the high expectations of that quality, which make the place very, very special.
One of the great things about RLE and even specifically where we are is that you have, first of all, a lot of research groups kind of in the same area, intellectually and physically in very much the same area, and so the students are interacting with each other, but they're not intellectually so on top of each other that actually they're stretching each other, if you will, so they're learning things from each other, they're borrowing instruments from each other, doing things like that. So it's a really nice environment.
The students are really driven by trying to work on problems that are real. You know, so MIT's got an incredible track record of, of launching companies. You know, we launch like a couple dozen companies a year, and the students basically see that as like a real trajectory for themselves. And because of that, they really care about working on industrially relevant problems, like things that are going to solve a real problem.
The best experience about being in RLE and being at MIT is definitely the ability to interact both with the students in my group and the students in the faculty in other groups, where they are bringing a whole different set of skills and a whole great enthusiasm to these projects, and just bumping into people in the halls, and also having organized meetings and journal working groups and all kinds of seminars and things like that makes it a really rich environment to work in.
You look at the depth and the breadth of researchers in RLE, and I think what it does is it helps you set the bar for yourself and your students about what you'd like to accomplish.
You know you are in a good place, and you want to live up to the expectations people have from you.
It's a fundamental platform for us. We wouldn't exist without it.
It's actually the best environment I can envision for myself.
I can't point to a place that I think you'd rather be if you want to be anything to do with science or engineering than at MIT. And if the part of science and engineering you want to partake of overlaps with RLE, then we are certainly the place for you.